Finally, in today's RalphStack, a departure from hockey and onto the world of tennis and Carlos Alcaraz, the young phenom who's doing it very well and very differently. The first thing you notice is the smile, because it's seemingly always there, on court and off, and it's hard to notice anything else. He smiles with his whole face. His bright, white, straight teeth pop against his tanned face and square jawline. His cheeks swell to reveal the permanent smiling lines etched due to the constant repetition of the motion. And his eyes sparkle, reflecting all that joy that comes so naturally. The young Spaniard is unlike most superstars you've ever watched, and it's paying big dividends for him and the tennis world. On Friday morning at 8:30 Eastern, the two-time defending Wimbledon champ will take the court against American Taylor Fritz in the 2025 semis. He beats him, and it's likely a rematch of the recent epic French Open final against world number one Jannik Sinner in Sunday's gentlemen's final. Ratings are up. The last slammed the French by 25%. They're coming after market share and gaining on the PGA Tour, which is also bouncing back after the live dip. But it's no longer a no-brainer. If it is those two on Sunday, don't miss it. For real. For the record, Jannik Sinner is still number one and Carlos is number two, but tennis math in this regard is a little bit odd. Maybe you hate tennis. Maybe you don't mind tennis. Maybe like me, you used to like tennis, but you fell off. I'm telling you, now is the time to run and not walk back in. Carlos Alcaraz is different. Quick story. I had a couple of friends here from Texas. Old guys like me, they weren't tennis guys. They were here in Palm Springs to play golf and eat and drink and do vacation things. I said, I got us all tickets to go to the Indian Wells tennis tournament to see Carlos Alcaraz tonight. From their response, it was like I had just asked them to go to a 4-hour reading of the Yellow Pages in a blizzard. They had very little interest. Long story short, we went, they got it fast, and now I get texts from them when he's playing on TV. He's not like anyone else. Why? He's not obsessed with his sport, regularly choosing time with family and friends over practice sessions. He dominates other opponents, and at the end, gives them the most earnest of embraces. He calls them all friends. He applauds their performances, even in losses to him, and he never beats his own drum. He's sweet, kind, and is frequently late to practice because he has to stop and talk to everyone he meets along the way. Is a different path to becoming a superstar possible? Carlos Alcaraz is trying. He still lives with his parents and 4 brothers in the family home in Spain. He spends long stretches at the barracks where he trained as a kid before turning pro at 15 and plays golf after he finishes up with his Wimbledon matches. For Alcaraz, time with family and friends is as or more important than practicing. Swimming, boating, hanging out is preferred to long post-match practice sessions or film work. He famously just went to party in Ibiza after winning the French Open before heading to England for the grass season. He got off vacation in time to stroll into the Queen's Club, the warm-up tournament before Wimbledon, and yeah, he won it. That's his 4th win already on grass. His fellow Spaniard and his idol, Rafa Nadal, over Nadal's career won 4 on grass. I know. Carlos says, I'm building my path to be the greatest tennis player in history, but I'm going to do it my way. The recently released Netflix doc on Carlos reveals a very different kind of player and a very different kind of guy. You know, we all get the message one way or the other that to be the best, you have to outwork everyone else. You have to toil in places others dare not go. You have to take your head in your hands and pound it against a concrete wall until you bleed, and then find a harder wall and go sprinting headfirst into it. We hear the phrase, no pain, no gain, and we're told, or we infer, that means we have to make ourselves absolutely miserable to succeed. Our hands must bleed, our feet must blister, we must feel pain and hurt in order to accomplish big things. We must ruin ourselves in the pursuit of greatness, or greatness never comes. Carlos Alcaraz has found another way. And let's not kid ourselves here. For Carlos Alcaraz to be where he is and accomplish what he has already, he's put in the time, no question about that. His coach, former world number 1, Juan Carlos Ferrero, is mentor, friend, and loving uncle. Their bond is real. They've been together since Carlos was in his early teens. Juan Carlos took one look at the kid and immediately knew what was going to be his life's work. During matches when things aren't going well, Carlos looks fast to Ferrero for guidance and to get the train back on the tracks. Lots of times a quick look or instruction fixes the problem. They laugh, they smile, they joke around. Everything always upbeat. There is so much joy among that group, and it's rubbing off on the rest of tennis. The US Open has a new wrinkle this year, and they'll play mixed doubles. Carlos asked Emma Raducanu to be his partner. Emma, a solid player in her own right, said she's trying to play with more joy, like Carlos, and that when she has, she's found more success. On the court, Alcaraz moves like a flashy matador, drawing in his opponents to deliver fatal strikes, while gesturing to the crowd to stand and applaud in support. He's a showman above all else, and ticket prices to see him wherever he goes go off the charts. But it's only a story if he can play. Anyone can do this. Have real balance, put family over work, put vacations over practice. But can you really dominate this way? Okay, here it is in 2025. He's 42-5 and is currently riding a career-best 23-match winning streak. If he wins Wimbledon, that's 2 matches away, only he and Bjorn Borg will have accomplished winning the French and Wimbledon in back-to-back years. Think about that. This is a shot maker without peer and an expert drop shot volleyer who can break an opponent's heart with either a 100-mile-an-hour laser down the line or a chip dink over the net that buckles their knees. He covers the court like no one else, getting to shots most couldn't come within 10 feet of and ripping the ball right back cross-court to a bewildered opponent. And he wins. All he does is win. It looks like he's going to lose for sure, and then he wins like he did in the French Open. Carlos was dead. The number 1 player in the world had 3 straight match points. Alcaraz fended them all off, crawled back into the match, and an hour and a half later, lifted the trophy. What we're seeing, folks, is a comet, a one-off, a very happy young guy with a supportive family who travels with him to all his matches. His mother cooks for him. His coaches are his friends. He's the nicest kid on tour, and it isn't close. Other players start smiling when anyone ever asks about Carlos. So no, you don't have to be a badass to be a real badass. You don't have to skulk around and drive your nails into your eyeballs and publicly suffer to be brilliant. It's just that nobody ever tells you there's another way to do it. Until now. The roadmap has been drawn by Carlos Alcaraz, and we all would be foolish not to give it a real look. That's our show for today. Thanks to Savannah Hughmuller as always, and thanks to my assistant, the great Kelly Ortiz. Next week, we'll have a surprise for you, but it won't be a surprise by the time you watch the show. It's a riddle. Figure it out. Until then and for now, watch Carlos Alcaraz this week and take a look here as we go out on the RalphCast, the podcast, the TV show, right here.